Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another unboxing and review, and today from McFarlane Toys, in their DC Superpowers line, we have the Batwing, Batman's air combat vehicle. Okay, so if you've been watching my videos, you'll remember that I've reviewed the first two waves of the Superpowers figures, and if you're not familiar with those, they're these guys. They're kind of a throwback to the older Kenner style of action figure, which I have here. And I was kind of lukewarm to this line at first, but I think once I started handling them and once I completed the first two waves, you know, they really took to me. I think they're awesome. You know, so far there's two vehicles that are available at stores right now. There's the Batwing and then there's the Superman mobile. So today we're going to check out the Batwing. The box design is great. It's a throwback to the original design from the 1980s in the original Superpowers collection. It has that blue, it has the red stripe with the stars, and it looks great. It's pretty cool how they took the Batwing and they kind of gave it the much more retro color scheme, much like the old Superpowers Batmobile. And over here we see the Batwing, and on the back they talk about the key play features. The canopy opens. It features a capture claw, which is nice. That's a callback to the old Toy Biz Batwing toy. And I think one of the cool features also is that this has folding wings. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so let's get started and take this out. Alright, so the only thing in the box is actually the Batwing. There is apparently no instructions whatsoever. It looks like all the stickers are already all applied. And I'm really surprised that this thing looks a lot larger than I anticipated. I thought it'd be a lot smaller. It's really cool how you don't have to assemble this. Because when I first saw the box, I kind of assumed that maybe you'd have to like piece the vehicle together. Like I was kind of thinking that maybe the canopy and the wings you had to assemble yourself, but it looks like this thing's ready and good to go, which is really cool. Okay, so wow. Yeah, I'm immediately impressed with this already, right? Right out of the gate. This thing is really cool. I love the fact that this thing it's smaller than the original Toy Biz and Kenner Batwings, but it's not so small that it's like insignificant. There's actually a good size to this, which I can appreciate. I think if you're an adult collector, this is like the perfect size for a Batwing. It's not so large that it's going to take up too much space. The fact that you could fold the wings and actually put it back in the box is a big plus for me. And it's easy to store at this size. There is some tape here holding the canopy in place. Let's remove that. I kind of wish they'd use magic tape so there'd be no residue, because this kind of tape does not remove easily all the time, and sometimes it'll leave like a sticky adhesive film. And let's try to get all that off. I love the fact that the bat emblem is not a sticker. You know, I think for me that'd be a big worry about this peeling off, but it doesn't. Okay, one thing I noticed as I'm handling this, there's something about this at the smaller scale than the original Batwing that it kind of reminds me of the Jedi Starfighter from Star Wars. More specifically, the Jedi Starfighter from Revenge of the Sith. If you remember the opening of that film, you know, Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're kind of like having that big space battle over Coruscant. And then the Jedi Starfighters, they kind of saw a redesign change, you know, versus the ones that we saw in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. There's something about this design that kind of reminds me of the Jedi Starfighter. And me being a Star Wars fan, I think that's kind of a bonus. Size-wise, you're looking at a toy that's... get this out and measure it. It's about 8.5 inches from the front to the back, and it's about maybe roughly 10.5 inches or 10.25 for the wingspan. So it's a nicely sized vehicle, and then here's the Batman figure next to it. So it's kind of misleading when you see the box. When you see the box, it doesn't seem like this thing's going to be all that big, but once you take it out, it's pretty impressive. Detail-wise, just to look at this thing up close. It's not overly stated. It seems like it's very much in line with the design aesthetic of like this time period. You know, there's some nice panel lining on the wings. There's a couple of non-functioning guns right here. They don't shoot any missiles or projectiles. Oh wow, that's awesome. So the bat emblem itself is actually the way to open up the canopy. You press this down, and this is spring loaded, and it pops back up. My biggest worry is that, you know, if you're a kid handling this, you know, eventually, you know, due to accident, you might break off this tab right here. But I think if you're gentle enough, that shouldn't be an issue. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool how like fast the spring-loaded mechanism is. That's awesome. The inside of the cockpit is well designed. You can see some stickers in place, and on the dash. And here's kind of like the bat. It's almost like a steering wheel. On the back, on the underside, not much going on, which is understandable. You're not really going to see it. So this is kind of a callback to the old Toy Biz Batwing. So over here, you have a trigger, and then when you pull on it, you get the capture claw. So if Batman wants to capture like the Joker or like, you know, the Riddler or another villain, they can easily do so. You know, just come up to him and pinch, and that's awesome. Really cool. The wings, as the box depicts, can fold, so you can allow it for storage, or you can pretend that if you're in Batman's Batcave, this thing just kind of like, you know, gets stored in place with the wings up. Now, in terms of the action figure, let's see how well he fits inside of the Batwing. So I removed Batman's cape before the review just because I knew it'd get in the way. And let's position him and seat him inside of the vehicle. And it's a nice cozy fit. As you can see, it's perfect. It's just right, and it looks really cool. So yeah, I dig this a lot. Again, I really admire the color choice here. You know, it feels very much at home with this, the original Kenner Superpowers Collection Batmobile. It's a slightly darker shade of blue, but I think for the most part, it does a good job of, you know, still capturing the spirit of the original toy line, especially since the canopy is almost identical in color to the old one, as well as the interior. So this vehicle here really, really feels like it belongs in this universe. So if you have like a display and you're like showing off your Superpowers collection, you can easily blend in the McFarlane stuff with the old Kenner vehicles. And they'll feel, you know, right at home next to each other. So yeah, this is awesome. So if you're like a big fan of the Superpowers collection, if you grew up during the 80s during this time period, this right here, the Batwing, is well worth the purchase in my opinion. I think it's great. It really exceeded my expectations. I did not expect that it would come fully assembled. I did not expect that it would be as large as it is. And it's nice. It's not too heavy. It's a good weight to it. And overall, very impressive vehicle. And since we're on the subject of the Batwing, real quick, let's take out this. This is something I recently added to my collection. This is the 1989 Toy Biz Batwing. As you can see, it's a much larger vehicle. The figure scale is different too. The figures here, the older Toy Biz figure is, I think these are like maybe like a 4.5-inch scale figure, where this might be a 5-inch scale, I think. So this is Batwing, this 89 one. I restored it. The only thing that's a little bit different is the upper wings here. These fins are, I'll go into this like when I review this in a later video. But this is almost stock. I had to piece this thing back together because initially I bought a broken one, and then I had to kind of hunt down the rest of the pieces to kind of like restore it. But this gives you an idea of the size difference. Let me take out the McFarlane one. And as you can see, the Toy Biz Batwing is gigantic. And then it really dwarfs the much smaller McFarlane vehicle. But like I said, the McFarlane one's nice because it's smaller, it's easier to store. This thing, as much as I love it, it's kind of just big. You know, it's kind of hard for me to find a place to actually store this thing. And the fact that the McFarlane one has foldable wings makes it much more convenient. Awesome. Alright, so let's wrap this video up. But before we do, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do I rate this vehicle? For the price point, for the playability, for the presentation, for the nostalgia, you know, for me, this is a perfect 10. The quality seems like it's there. It doesn't seem shoddy at all. The play features are nice. You know, you get the cockpit, you have the capture claw. So that's awesome. I love the fact that you can store it with the foldable wings. And it's cool that they took into consideration, you know, like how this would pair with the original Batmobile. So, you know, kudos to McFarlane. Excellent job. You know, I really applaud their efforts for really doing their best to bring this action figure line to life. I'm just hoping that they continue forward with it. You know, right now, I haven't heard much about this. It's not like the multiverse and the other action figure series that they produce, where, you know, there's a lot of focus on that. You know, I'm not sure if the Superpowers was kind of like a one and done kind of deal, or if they have more plans in the future. But either way, well worth the purchase, and this is something that makes me want to really consider buying the Superman mobile. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.